Welcome back to another video, and today we're talking about some more WrestleMania 40 because we're doing a different kind of ranking, but still a ranking. You probably know that already because of the title and thumbnail. But we are ranking all 13 WrestleMania 40 matches from night 1 and night 2. Now, before we get started, I do want to say I technically don't think that there was a bad match in this WrestleMania. I thought our matches were pretty good at the most. But I definitely had favorites, and I definitely had, let's say, least favorites. So, let's get started. Bottom, we have Bianca Belair. We have Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control, that being Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. So, yeah... So I like this match. It was fun. There were some really fun moments, but I don't know. Maybe it was because the story I felt wasn't the greatest. Honestly, this could have been a one-on-one match with like Bianca Belair and Dakota Kai. Heck, it could have even been a tag team with Naomi and Bianca Belair versus the Kabuki Warriors for the tag titles. But they decided to go with this 3v3, which once again it wasn't a bad thing. But I don't know. It didn't have my interest. I wasn't as invested in this match. This is the match I was not as invested in when it comes to matches. And it kind of feels like Jade Cargill is literally only there so that way that she can be in WrestleMania. She had very little connection, I feel, to the actual story. And yeah, so I just thought it was enjoyable. There were fun moments. It's just, it wasn't the greatest. At least compared to a lot of the other matches here. Next up at number 12, we have the Battle of Brothers in the City of Brotherly Love. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. A match that, I won't lie, I was really excited for going into WrestleMania. And it was kind of just okay. Like, it was fun having the Usos battle out in the City of Brotherly Love. But I don't know, it wasn't as entertaining as I was hoping it would be. It could have been, so I feel like it was a bit disappointing because I was so hyped and excited for it. It was kind of just like, you know, it was okay, it was alright. I wouldn't say bad, but I wouldn't necessarily say good either, so, you know, alright. Next up, at number 11, we have the Pride, that being, I believe they're called the Pride at least, the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, versus the Final Testament, who I'm not gonna lie to you, outside of Karrion Kross, I forget the names of the rest of the people. This is one of those matches that I thought was a whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed the match. The problem is, I don't understand why this was a WrestleMania match. This could have been on Friday Night SmackDown before WrestleMania. I do not know why it needs to be at WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, because it was not that big of a story. But the match was really fun. You had Bubba Ray Dudley in there as special guest referee. Dang, I think Gunther would win. 2K just does not like giving us accurate answers. Anyway, what else was I saying? Oh yeah, Bubba Ray Dudley as special guest referee was really fun, especially because it is in Philadelphia, so you know, that ECW. Although once again, SmackDown before WrestleMania was also in Philadelphia, and so was the Raw after Mania. So technically, it could have been one of those two. That way, it could still be in Philadelphia. But you know, a fun match that didn't really need to be at WrestleMania. All right, bring us into the top 10. I have one that I feel like a lot of people really loved, and I feel like everybody else has it much higher than I do, but it's the match you're currently watching right now. That being Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. So I enjoyed this match. I thought it was pretty good, but I don't know. I found myself not as engaged with it as I was with some of the other ones. I really don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's because I kind of knew Rhea was going to retain, but even then, this is the most believable it was with somebody actually defeating Rhea Ripley. Because before this, I knew nobody was beating Rhea Ripley. Every single Rhea Ripley match, I knew the outcome because it was obvious. This was the only one where it was a little less obvious. It was like, okay, it might actually be Becky Lynch. So I don't know what it was about it. I mean, the fact that Becky Lynch still did as good of a job as she did when she was sick is still like crazy. And even Rhea Ripley was apparently injured. So you know, the fact that they were able to give us still a good match with one being sick and the other being hurt, it's crazy. But, you know, number 10, it could move, because I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of these, especially the top 10, could very easily move around. The top 10 I had a very hard time deciding on. This one ended up being at number 10, although you probably could convince me to move it a bit higher. Next up at number 9, we have AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Yeah, I thought this was a very enjoyable match. I can't help but feel like maybe, I'm not sure, I still don't know if this one needed to be at WrestleMania, but either way, it was still really enjoyable. I really did like this match. We all kind of knew that LA Knight was winning this one, but it doesn't matter, it was still fun. And we even got a rematch on SmackDown where AJ Styles wins, so now we know AJ is going to challenge Cody at Backlash. Oh, they're doing like a cutscene. Oh, I lost them. They're over here. Anyway, like I was saying, it was a really enjoyable match, but I can't put too much higher. Number 8 is one that I feel like you could convince me to put it one higher, and honestly, I might put it one higher like the moment we're done recording, but I'm going to go based off of what I have written down. At number 8, we have the freaking Nightmare, that being Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins, versus the Bloodline in The Rock and Roman Reigns. Here's the thing. I do like this match. However, I like the second half of this match. I do feel like the first half of this match is kind of slow. It kind of drags a bit, kind of drags it on. Once we get into the second half of the match, it's awesome. We got them fighting on the outside of the ring. We got Cody rock bottoming The Rock through a table. We have Roman spearing Seth Rollins through the barricade. We have some crazy near falls. We have an incredible moment where Roman spears The Rock by accident. And then Cody and Seth take advantage to do double pedigrees, double pinfalls, double near falls. Crazy awesome stuff. We get The Rock going for his people's elbow just for Cody to counter into a Cody cutter. We have Seth Rollins giving the Rock a stomp kick. It was, the second half of this match was so much fun. The first half of the match, however, was kind of just alright. It was alright. So, yeah.
I sure do. What is going on? No, wait, we don't need an interruption right now. We've got a great
what in the world?
We don't need extra company.
Piper Niven has no... That makes no sense. Piper Niven has no connection to Rhea Ripley. How does that make any sense? It should be a member of Judgment. Whatever. We're not focusing on that. We're focusing on the actual WrestleMania matches. So yeah, the second half of this match was amazing. The first half was like kind of okay. I feel like the match is also way too long. It could have been shorter. Like I said, honestly, if it was just the second half of the match, it would have been better. Honestly, this match probably should be at number 7, but because I have it written down here, I'm gonna keep it here. But just know that this could move up. Speaking of, what is at number 7? Number 7 is one that I feel like is very controversial. Most people have it lower, that being Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. I found this match to be so much fun. I really enjoyed this match. First of all, I love Rey Mysterio. He's one of my favorites, so just watching another one of his matches is so much fun. I remember kind of being like, really, you're doing a tag team match? Because I was kind of hoping for, if you're not going to do a, if you're not going to do a one-on-one between Rey and Santos Escobar, then I wanted a mixed gender faction versus faction match. That way everybody can get in on the action. But the cool thing is, everybody still got in on the action. Everybody got something to do. Now, hold on, I gotta switch matches. Like I was saying, everybody got something to do. Whether talking about Walking Wild and Cruz Del Toro got something to do. I believe it was Walking Wild did the crazy move where he also did an NXT, I remember a while back, where with help from the rest of the LW, they launch him off of the rope here onto the people who would be right there. It was crazy. Zelina Vega got in the action. Rey Mysterio and Andrade did this cool move where Rey Mysterio got on Andrade's shoulders and they jumped off the turnbuckle outside the ring. That's awesome. And here's the thing. I am very biased because not only am I a Rey Mysterio fan, I also, and a lot of people are probably not going to like this, I'm also a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So, despite the fact what other people may think, Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson helping out Rey Mysterio, I thought was awesome. Did it make much sense for the story? Not really. Do they really have any connection to this match whatsoever other than it's in Philadelphia? Not really. Do I care? Not really. Because it is still awesome to me as an Eagles fan, as someone who does know who these two are and loves what they've done for the team I like. Seeing them get involved was so much fun. Helping out one of my favorites in Rey Mysterio to help defeat one of the most hated heels there is, Dominic Mysterio. So much fun. I don't care what anyone says. But yeah. Alright, next up at number 6, I decided to go with Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I am going to lump in the Money in the Bank cash-in with this match. I know technically it's a separate match, so technically I should be including it as something separate, but I'm not going to because it's like 1 minute, so I'm going to lump it in with this match. Let's start off with the actual match, that being Drew versus Seth, which I thought was really fun. Yes, there's a lot of finishers, but I don't care. It was still so much fun. These two have great chemistry. They had great facial expressions showing how upset they were, how annoyed they were. The fact that Drew McIntyre was just so cocky was awesome because, I mean, Seth did get destroyed in the Night 1 main event against The Rock and Roman. So he does, I believe it was his wife. He takes his wife's phone and actually puts out an actual tweet saying that he's bored at work while doing this. Hilarious. And it was so much fun. So cool that Drew finally got a moment at a WrestleMania in front of a crowd. Seriously, that match was so fast and also a not correct result. My gosh, 2K, what is wrong with you? Technically, this wasn't an actual match at WrestleMania, but I don't care because we're talking about the cash anyway. A cash that was actually done really well, especially after a lot of failed cash-ins, which are like, it's like, wow, okay. But they did, like I've said this before in the review, they did such a great job with them being distracted by CM Punk getting annoyed with them, beating him up. That's when the music hits, Damien Priest comes out, cashes in, and wins the championship. It was really cool. But so yeah, I just thought that this was a great match, whether you're talking about the actual match or the cash-in. Both were great. Now bringing us into the top 5, we got the triple threat between Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Logan Paul. This was a really fun match, even if I wasn't the biggest fan of the result, but still, there was some awesome stuff in this. It was super entertaining, with Kevin and Randy teaming up on Logan Paul to beat him up, but then they both try to go for the pin, and that's when they start beating each other up. We get Randy Orton, RKO, and I Show Speed, I guess it was. I'll be completely honest with you, I had no idea who that was. I just had people explain it to me on watching videos of people explaining it online, so, you know. But him RKOing him on the table was awesome. You know, I can't help but feel like they were supposed to go through the table. Maybe I'm wrong, but still, that was really cool. It was just a lot of fun. I knew who the winner was going to be, although the near falls were so good that sometimes it did make me think, oh, maybe Kevin will win it. Oh, maybe Randy will win it. But no, I ended up being correct in saying Logan Paul. But still, a super fun match. Next up, at number 4, we have the 6-pack tag team ladder match. This match was a blast to watch. It was so much fun, and I admit I've heard that there are better tag team ladder matches that I'm gonna have to check out because of how much I loved this match. It was amazing. It was crazy. I mentioned this before. We're doing this again? Oh, see, this one makes more sense than Piper and Evan. I'm just saying. I accidentally hit the pause button. Anyway, there was some awesome stuff in it with a crazy tornado DDT on the outside of the ring. Someone going through a ladder that was set up. So people going through tables, people getting hit by chairs, people jumping off ladders like New Catch Republic, doing double backflips off of the ladder to land on the two groups of people. people getting so close to taking off the belts just for them the ladder be pushed over. JD McDonough coming in, interfering, trying to help Finn Balor get up there just from they pushed off through the table. Was so much fun. I've rewatched this. I've watched this match twice. I watched it when it was live, and then I gave it a rewatch. One of my favorite matches, and honestly, it almost was higher. I decided to go with at this point in time, I have it written down as 4. However, this could be 3 for me. Heck, at one point in time, it probably could have even been 2. But I decided to change it. So here, we're finally getting to the top 3. And at number 3, I have Bayley versus Io Sky. I thought this match was really good. Not only were they telling, yes, it kind of done multiple times, a story that was done a lot of times, with Bayley creating damage control, mentoring these people, just to be betrayed, leading us to this WrestleMania match. With Bayley being a heel, but now because of the betrayal, everybody turned and supported Bayley. It was so much fun, and there were some great moves in it. I like the story that they were telling. It was really good. I know I already used this match for my previous videos, but I don't care. I'm using it again. Bayley versus Io, like I was saying, I just thought was really good. And I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I don't think I have too much else to say about it other than I thought it was a really good match. Next up, at number 2, I have Gunther versus Sami Zayn. This was one of the most unpredictable matches for me. In my predictions, I did say Sami Zayn. However, I was constantly going back and forth. Before I made my prediction, I said, yeah, Gunther's going to win. Maybe Sami. Nah, Gunther. Oh, it might actually be Sami. Well, I ended up making the video saying it was Sami. And then even after making the video, part of me thought, oh man, I made the wrong decision. It's going to be Gunther. And then I was like, yeah, no, I'm actually proud of my decision. I'm going to say Sami Zayn. And I was back to Gunther. And even while watching the match, every near fall, I thought it was going to be over. And the near falls was so well done. Like every time we would get 1, 2, my jaw would drop thinking, this is it. Gunther's retaining. No. 1, 2, here it is. Sami might actually do it. No. It was just crazy. Sami did actually win, and it just felt so awesome because I was rooting for Sami. There were some really cool moves with like haluva kicks and power bombs. Gunther trying to get who's a master getting to his opponent's head technically had Sami in his head, so he tried to play mind games by taunting Sami's wife, which ended up being his own downfall. It was just such, in my personal opinion, a great match. The best match of night 1. Won't lie, that 6-pack ladder match kind of rivaled it for me. But it was really, really fun, and I loved that match. But at number 1, you know what it is. It's the match that we're watching right now. It's the best match I've seen in a long time. Maybe ever? I don't know. That being the main event of night 2. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, in a Bloodline Rules match. Although, I have to say, I originally thought Bloodline Rules meant whatever the Bloodline says goes. Therefore, Bloodline, that making it pretty much a handicap match because Cody wouldn't be allowed to have anything. It technically just meant, oh, it's Extreme Rules. But, you know, it was still really fun. And this is another match that technically has like 2 halves, but both halves are amazing. The first half is a great 1v1 between Cody and Roman with no interference. They fight in the ring. They go outside the ring. We get some epic moves. We get them doing their own moves on each other, with Cody spearing Roman through a barricade, with Roman giving the crossroads to Cody. Them fighting in the WWE Universe, like around there. Some crazy, awesome, fun stuff. And then what we've been calling the Portals moment, the Avengers Endgame moment, happens, where Jimmy Uso comes out to interfere. Jey Uso comes out to stop him. Then Solo Sikoa comes out to interfere. Then John Cena comes out to stop him. And then The Rock comes out to take care of John Cena, and then The Undertaker comes out to take care of The Rock. Cody hits Crossroads 1, Crossroads 2, Crossroads 3, 1, 2, 3. The story is finished. Finished the story. A great story, and it was just done so well. To see this match in person, I was there for night 2. I've said it before in some of my previous videos. I watched it both there, and then I did give it a rewatch at home on screen, and it was crazy. It was crazy being there. The crowd was so hyped and into it. It was so great. Also, I personally I really like that it was Undertaker, because apparently it sounds like they couldn't get Stone Cold, so the Undertaker was like, yeah, I'll do it. So they got the Undertaker to do it. I personally was okay with it, because you have the connection of Roman beat the Undertaker at a WrestleMania. As we all know, Paul Heyman, who's Roman Reigns' manager, also was the manager of Brock Lesnar, who beat Undertaker's streak, which we're not even going to get into that. And heck, Undertaker and Rock have gotten into it before, even if it wasn't at a WrestleMania, because it doesn't have much connection to the story outside of what I just mentioned, which is very loosely connection that not everybody even knows about. No, not really, but neither did Stone Cold outside of that one connection, that being he did fight The Rock at WrestleMania a couple times. But also, you can't have WrestleMania without Undertaker. So to me, it makes just as much sense as Stone Cold, if not maybe more. I think that's a hot take, but I don't care. But yeah, it's a great match. So much fun. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, you could get even more thoughts in my review, even though not too much different, I guess, from what I've talked about here, but this is more of a ranking. That was just talking about WrestleMania as a whole. This was me ranking the matches. But yeah, that is my ranking. So quick recap. 13, Team Bianca versus Damage Control. 12, Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. 11, The Pride versus The Final Testament. 10, Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. 9, AJ Styles versus LA Knight. 8, The Freaking Nightmare versus The Bloodline. 7, Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. 6, Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. 5, Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton versus Logan Paul. 4, the six-pack ladder match. 3, Bayley versus Io. 2, Gunther versus Sami Zayn. 1, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. So yeah, that's it. What's your ranking of the WrestleMania 40 matches? What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? Let me know your thoughts down below, and if you want to see maybe more videos like this. Thanks for watching. I've also done 2 previous WrestleMania reviews, like the predictions and a review, and I've also have a whole bunch of movie reviews, TV reviews, and gameplay videos if you're interested. And yeah, I thought I was gonna finish the story again. I guess not. Thanks for taking the time to watch. I hope to see you guys in the next video. If you like this, please like. Bye.